Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hello, hello. Hey, Basti. Um, I'm actually contemplating on making the seats 9 studs wide instead of 7 studs, because 9 studs kinda makes more sense in this context, because 7 stud seats are just too small for the scale. However, yes, yeah, that's the maximum height there can be. Okay. Montana Black. No, what the fuck is this? Or who is Montana Black? That's the probably the better question. I don't know. Obviously, I have not touched the car since the last stream because I did not have time. Okay. Yeah, so we are going to position the seat in this fixed position. It's gonna be, of course, adjustable seat back, and it can be folded over, and that's it. Uh, do send it, please, please. But I'm just thinking of the scale. So if I make them 7 studs wide, they are going to look pretty small, since the car is wide and all. So 9 studs is probably gonna be more realistic size wise, I think. I could be wrong, but I think it's kind of gonna be more realistic, yeah. Okay. Um, Obviously, the seats are my least favorite part. However, said, when we do the Sierra, um, we are going to design the dashboard and the seats in unison. Since I want the cockpit to be really realistic, and I already have an idea for the hand of God steering in the Sierra. It's gonna be in the same position as the Charger one, but everything else is gonna be completely different. We are not gonna use the thing through the dashboard and then through the steering column. Since the Sierra has a rack and pinion steering, we are going to have the steering wheel is gonna be on one side, a gear on one side of the rack and pinion steering, and the hand of God steering is gonna plug in from the other side. and it's gonna go straight on the bottom of the car up until here, and then up until here it's gonna be like this hinge here, up here a cardan joint up. So it's gonna be really smooth and non-intrusive and much more direct than here. Since the Sierra is gonna be a much tighter car, it's also gonna be more direct, more engaging, you know. Yeah, okay. And I also thought about what to do with the Sierra and the gearbox and stuff. And I mean, the engine in the Sierra will be much better than this one, because we have in the Sierra we are going to have a 4-cylinder engine, of course, and a lot more room than here. So it's gonna be less cylinders and a lot more room, and we can make overhead cams, which are gonna be totally doable. The gearbox is gonna be probably just 2 speeds, high and low, and it's gonna be designed high, low, and reverse, maybe, but high, low definitely, and it's gonna be designed so that you can quickly unplug the engine and plug something else on. And the steering as well is going to be designed so that you can quickly plug in a servo motor, not on the steering column but on the hand of God steering setup, and you can have the car remote controlled in a heartbeat, which we may even do, because the Sierra is going to be much easier to motorize than this, and it's going to be a lot more fun. We can even make the rear, I mean, we are going to make the rear axle modular, so we can always swap the differential to non-differential axle, so, you know, and have, we can also have different ratios, since with the differential we can have the 12 stud gear with the 28 stud gear, but if we go for a drifting setup, we can have the 12 stud gear with the 32 stud gear. So this would be the drifting setup. So no differential with the 32 tooth gear, and we can go drift. So there's options. We can have a welded differential as well. So I'm already thinking ahead. Sierra is winning. Sorry. I mean, I'm happy either way, but Sierra is gonna be the car that we are gonna build next, and I'm already doing the thinking, because, you know, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. So we need to finish the seats, so I can, you know, mark this as done, and then there's basically just the fenders here to fill in the gap. I need to buy the colored panels, colored axles, so that the car I can make a photo shoot with the car in one color, like, and yeah, and then it's done. Then I need to make instructions while we are already starting to work on the Sierra. That's the plan, basically. And the Sierra, I mean, the body styles that we can do are basically, we can do three different body styles, but I'm gonna do my favorite body style, which is a 4-door saloon, which came later, with the boot, so no rear hatchback, because that's the way I like it, you know. Hey, Method. Yeah, sure. Hi. Yeah, so that's the plan for the Sierra, and again, we are going to make it as light as humanly possible, lighter than the Charger, of course, since it's probably gonna be a bit smaller. The engine bay is gonna be bigger because of the McPherson struts. Oh yeah, definitely a lot bigger. And of course the wheels are narrower, so everything is gonna be, you know, further removed from the center. Um, and yeah, the interior is gonna be probably bigger because the cardan tunnel is gonna be a lot smaller, because the gearbox is gonna be more hardcore because of the uh, drifting potential. I do have plans to make videos of it drifting in the snow if we make it in time, and if we get snow this year, you know, who knows. Um, uh, there is even a possibility, um, maybe, if we if we make the Sierra in time, and if travel to Finland is gonna be possible, I'm gonna take it to Finland and we're gonna drift it in snow in Finland. But of course, that depends on the travel restrictions and stuff like that. You know, that's all in the cards. Maybe again, it's gonna exist, and I can always take it there, 2022. But plans and dreams can be made, regardless of the current situation. Yeah, so the Sierra is gonna be, it's gonna look pretty stock, but I want to make it so that it's modifiable. So anybody who wants to modify it, make it lower, I don't know, do whatever you want to it, you can. Same with the Charger. I mean, the Charger can be naturally lowered by adjusting the springs and everything. You can put different wheels on it. It's Lego. I mean, you can do whatever you want to it, and I encourage you to do. Maybe you can do it in red. Red is also a wonderful color for the Charger. Red with a black roof that's kind of mimicking a vinyl roof. So yeah, exciting options. I chose to do a black one, with kind of stock ride height, and you can do whatever you want. Okay, so let's throw these seats together, and maybe let's say we spend another 30 minutes on the seats, and then we are going to start making the Sierra front suspension. So if anybody here can find any useful blueprints of a Sierra that we can use to determine the width and the tire size and everything, preferably the Sierra 4-door of a newer generation, it would be like I think it was the Cosworth. It was they had a version that was a Sierra Sapphire Cosworth, and it was like the 4-door that I want to build. So the sedan body style, and it had like the 2-liter Cosworth turbo engine, but it was rear wheel drive only. It was not 4-wheel drive. So this is what we want. If anybody can in the meantime find us blueprints for this, that would be perfect. I found only blueprints for the stock 1983 model, which is not what we want to do. So that would be perfect. Then we can calculate the dimensions, and we can start building actually the front suspension. That would be grand. Okay, so we want this to move inwards, not outwards, to modify. So we decided against moving it back and forth, which is actually good, because this way there's no option of skipping. It cannot skip. And I'm also going to use this for the seat back because it's gonna make everything a lot sturdier. So, and simpler, of course, and lighter, and yeah, you know, all the things that we like here. There we go. So I can omit all of this. It's gonna sit here. So it's gonna be just perfect. I can ditch this. And then, yeah, I can remove this and this and basically all of this. What the fuck? Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna look at it just in a moment. Just what the... Ah, okay, this was preventing it. Okay. So... Wait, I had it like this. Yeah, of course, I mean, I can naturally move it inwards a little bit more, like this. Excellent. Okay, let's view what you sent on Instagram. Where is it? You sent it on Instagram. Ah, okay. It's a request. Accept. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what Marco sent us. Oh my god. You actually spent a lot of time on it. So, I see. Okay. The only thing that I don't like is the gear in the middle, because your back is here, like your ass. The gear is in your ass crack. That's the only thing that I don't like. That's why I wanted the gear on this side here. Yeah, JSP Sierra 1. So okay. I like the idea, but the gear where it is completely unrealistic, and it's not a seat. Except, yeah, but maybe if we made upholstery and would hide the gear, you know, like the seat back. Glorious day for foreigners. Okay. Yeah. By the way, you may have seen a message from Mr. Ivan Franciscovitz, which is the Ivan who is the co-founder of LP Power. So yeah, we communicate. Okay, more pictures. Okay. This is not gonna work. But okay. It needs to be vice versa. Okay. I mean, let's build it. You know, there's nothing to it but to do it. And because I want things smaller, I'm gonna do this with the small gear. No, I can't, because then I don't have enough room for this. I hope he does win the election, but he did not win the election yet. Not all votes have been counted, and it's too early to call. I really hope he won it, but I'm gonna cheer when it's done. Uh, until then, I'm just you know, I'm just having my hopes up. Yeah, yeah. Your idea is actually very very good. I like it, um, and we are going to use it. I mean, this is absolutely the way to go. Yeah, but I mean, what worries me is that still uh, the election isn't so clear cut. It's still, you know, it's almost 50-50. That worries me. After 4 years of Trump, people still vote for him. I mean, why would you do that? Why would you vote against your own interests? That's a complete mystery to me, and everybody watching from Europe is probably the same opinion. I don't know what the situation in America is, but I think the sentiment is with all folks who have seen the world know that, I mean, Trump is the worst option possible for everybody. Okay. So, if we want to do this, and I said before, a niner would be probably better. Yeah, only the gear in the middle is a problem. Yeah, I know. Um, that's why I want the gear elsewhere. But if we have the gear on the side, then we cannot have the small gear slide outwards. We have to have it slide inwards. That's the only problem that we have. But that's a solvable problem. As I said last time, I know how to solve it. So we are going to have the this guy on the outer edge, and we're gonna have the gear slide in. It's a very easily solvable problem, just with one lever. And it's yeah. I'm gonna build it and show you. So I already decided that this is gonna be 9 studs wide, because this is perfect for the scale that we're building. Otherwise, it's gonna look weird in the car, because the seats are gonna be too narrow, which I don't want. So um, so this is a 5 stud, right? This is a 5 stud. 9 studs is 4 studs more. So we have a 2 stud gap here and 2 stud gap here. So we're gonna use 2 frames. 2 frames. Remind me, yeah, 2 frames. We're gonna do it like this. Okay. I think this is the size of the seat that we want, but it's yeah, we're not gonna fit this in the way I desire. Okay, yeah, we're gonna use this. We have to use this. So oh, yeah, that's, oh my god, I'm so old school. Of course, in the old days, this guy had another axle horn here that would perfectly fit here, and then I would be able to use this. Yeah, okay. Okay. So this guy, this has to be fixed, and then, wait, what am I missing? We are building the seat. We are about 20 minutes. We are reserved for the seat, and then we move to the Sierra. I have many. You know, I have, you know, in my vintage box, I have many of these gears. I love them, but of course they are too new, and they are all very old, and the plastic is brittle. So I'm not gonna use them. Okay. Ah, yeah. We don't have to fix this gear anywhere because it's. I mean, I completely forgot. Of course, because this guy is fixed. This guy is just on the axle, nothing else. Okay. Yeah. Um, so a 9-stud axle is what we need. Exactly. Yeah, you know, Ben. Since now I know that a quattro is also an interesting proposition after the Sierra is done, you know, the goal is of course the Chiron, but future projects can be an Audi. It's not like we're never gonna do an Audi Quattro. Absolutely not. We definitely can and should. Just not right now. Yeah, all of the cars on the list are for future projects. Now that we know that an interest is there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna try to do this as tidy as possible. There. Okay. So this is gonna be fixed to this. So let's do this first. Okay, we're gonna change this a little bit. Mhm. Of course, it's the other way around. I think. It needs to swing this way. Needs to swing this. Maybe, yeah, maybe we can do brick coatings, since you know, I have a perfectly good Land Rover there that's gonna be dismantled for as a parts car for the Sierra. We might as well do it. You know, we can steal parts from it. Okay, so if we want the handle here, and the handle we put it down, and this has to move out. So this moves out, so we can make this a little bit simpler and easier, since we can. Okay, so we have this guy here that's gonna swing around, and we are going to use this. No, I'm trying to do this simpler. Wait, if it goes in and up, because I want to use. Do I want to use this? Yeah, probably. I do want to use this. Is it enough? Oh, of course. Ah, yes. I know what you mean by the L beam. Stupid me. Sorry. Yeah. Of course. I have to use the L beam. Otherwise, this isn't gonna work. Of course. Yeah. I mean, how did this elude me? I don't know. Of course. That's how it attaches in the first place. Yeah. I don't know. I have no excuse. Sorry. This is a little bit wobbly, but it's okay. It's okay. Where is it? There. There it is. Ah, yes, okay. So we can make it like this. Perfect with me. It's gonna swing out like this, and Actually, it's gonna be here. Okay. So the pivot is gonna be here, but it's gonna be out. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Um, mhm. In pursuit of making it as simple as humanly possible. Mm. Okay, I'm just gonna leave parts out a little bit. Um, so we have a few more minutes of this, and then we can switch to the Sierra. Okay. Okay, this is gonna do. Okay, why is this so hard? Why are you so hard? Okay. Right. So we can have the spring. I mean the spring. The rubber band can be here. Like this. So come on, will you engage? What? Not enough force. Ah, okay, I see. It's kind of twisting it. Needs to be here, right? Yeah, needs to be here. Okay, fine, 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 fine. And we need this, so we can have. No, do we need this? Um, um, I mean, I thought like, yeah, that's how we do it. So we have like something that's gonna press down here, but by pulling it up, like a cam, that's here. And we don't need much. We need basically just something that we can grab on here. Would this be enough? I wonder. No. Close, but no cigar. Close, but no cigar. Well, what about this? The Sierra is going to be a rear wheel drive, not all wheel drive. fine. This is not enough. This is not enough, but we can fix it. We can fix it by changing everything, of course. This isn't going to make life easy for us. Okay. So there. Everything's falling apart then. Okay. There. What about now? Did I disassemble it already? What? Well, I had it in my hands just like minutes before. Yeah, I disassembled it. Okay. Okay, this is not enough. But this is but if we place something here, it's gonna be too much. Really. I think this is acceptable. Simple mechanism. Perfect. Perfect. Now this mechanism, and we move to the Sierra suspension. So let's take just a few minutes more time. I mean, the handle can be, you know, it can be here, because here is already the side of the it's basically already the bodywork, so there's no room for it to go out. Okay. Now I am going to use this. So basically something here just to yeah, I'm gonna use this. Gonna be the smoothest. Okay, so I'm gonna use this. This is gonna prevent everything from moving, and all we need to do is now press it in like this. Then what? Why are oh, okay, yeah, now I see the problem. we need to use the old style 8-tooth gear. Okay. Yeah, now it goes. Okay. So this is gonna be our mechanism. Yeah, but with this one it works. So the spring needs to press it outwards, just to here, and a lever is gonna pull it in. As simple as that. So what we are gonna do here is let's see. Time. Such a collection is built with time. I'm just collecting this for ages. That's how it's possible. Mm. Mm. Ah, of course, yeah. It needs to be pulled on this to this side. Okay, no problem. No problem. By the way, has any of you found the blueprints for the Sierra? That's kind of important. Otherwise, we're gonna have to spend more time finding the blueprints. Okay. Now the final piece of the ingredient, a lever. A lever, like, I don't know, something here that's just pushing this axle inwards from somewhere. It can be, I don't know. Yeah, it's a four-door Sierra. I think the year was, I don't know, 88 or something. Ford Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. I think that's the whole name of it. Please do indulge in it. Go to his website and see if he has blueprints for a Sierra. Uh, while I am finishing this, um, Oh, come on, this should be easier. Basically, damn, I want the hinge to be exactly here on this piece, and I'm gonna have it here. I'm gonna have it here, I think. So what would be more natural, pulling it in or out? Pulling it out, right? So if I pull this out, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So if I pull this out, well, technically, but I would like this to be a little more sophisticated. I don't know. Not pulling it out, or just, I don't know, either up or out by a lever. I know, you know, like a lever that's, oh yeah, like this, for example. Mm. I think we can live with that. Ah, okay, of course. Of course, that's the snag. So where would we relocate this? Here. Here, yeah, okay. There. Now we need to change this a little bit. Okay. I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. Our seat is done. Let's see if there's room for it in the car. And of course there isn't. So this is the middle of the seat. And it needs to correspond to the middle of the steering wheel. Ford Sierra Sapphire Cosworth. So in any case, we are building a Cosworth. Okay, so this is too wide. Yeah, we need to make this one stud narrower on the other side, but it's all manageable. Yeah, we are safe on this side. On the other side, you see this is hitting the car the central. So this. So what we are going to do is the natural thing. We're going to make this narrower because it's too wide. We're going to make it one step narrower and stuff is fixed. So let's make it narrower. Yeah, the RS I think is the hatchback, but doesn't matter. I mean, if you find the blueprints for the RS Cosworth Sierra, we can work with that. Most of the dimensions are gonna be the same, so we can work with it. Good thing we made all of this modular. So now we can take it out. Oh, okay. We can take it out without issues. let's see what the gearbox is gonna say about it. If it's gonna be happy or not. Yeah, we're gonna make the RS Cosworth, of course. Okay. Okay. So we cannot make it quite as narrow as I'd like. No. Damn it. Gearbox says no. So we have to modify the seat. But this is gonna happen off screen and not today. I'm just gonna return everything here to the previous state. And let's sketch out the Sierra. It's really frustrating. It's really frustrating. This is the car I would like to make. Yeah, the US voting system is extremely stupid, and thing is that it's gonna take weeks until all of the votes are counted. So the result, we might not know the result until the end of November, actually. Doesn't really matter. 88, 87, 88, not really important. It's the same car. Well, that's not cool. I mean, I am absolutely for Trump losing, but I want him to lose fair, not with the way Trump voters are trying to suppress legitimate votes. So voters that don't want him in office should not drop down to his level. That's not democratic and that's not fair. Who got banned from Twitter? Trump or the one, the guy destroying the votes? Yeah. One stud narrower and we're golden. Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult. The seat itself can be as wide as possible, but the mechanism needs to be tucked in by one stud. But this is perfectly manageable. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Enough of this. For now. So, we need some measurements. Let me get out my text editor. And let's see. First, let's see what kind of wheels the RS Cosworth has. That's gonna determine our scale. So, Ford Sierra Cosworth wheels. Hey, integrali. Wheels and tires. Okay, wheels and tires. Let's see. Ford Sierra Cosworth wheel tire size. Okay. So I think I got it. It's so narrow. I mean, I have the tires like this. I have on my BMW Compact. Okay. So 205 50 R15. Okay. That's pretty small. Pretty small. So now let's use this app to see what the diameter of a wheel like this is. So 50 R15. So the diameter of this wheel is 587 millimeters. So 587 millimeters. And we know that this guy here is 81.6 millimeters. They should be, but they won't, because we have only this. So essentially the front tires are going to be wider. The rear tires are going to be what they are, and the front tires are going to be slightly wider than they are stock. You know, we are going to use 4 identical wheels. So it's the same with the Charger. The Charger front wheels should be narrower as well, but I don't have them. I mean, we cannot make them narrower. So that's what we have. Yeah, I remember you. Don't worry. Okay, so we need to divide the original size in millimeters with this to get the scale. So if we divide 587 with 81.6, it's one. We get 1 to 7.2. So the scale would be 1.72. 1 to 7.2. So that would be our scale. The Charger scale is 1 to 8.4. So essentially the Sierra would be well, quite a bigger scale than the Charger, to be honest. Not sure if it's gonna be a larger car, but that we're gonna find out right now. So, do we have any blueprints for the Sierra or any measurements to see how wide the car needs to be, or do I have to search for that myself? So Ford Sierra RS Cosworth specifications. Okay. So there we go. Width, which is very important. Width is 173 centimeters is the width of the car. So the height of the car is 138 centimeters. And the length, I don't care at the moment. I basically want the, well, at the moment I just care about the width, of course. That's gonna determine our front suspension. So the width is 137 centimeters. So the tires are gonna be, so the wheels are gonna be as far apart as possible. So 173 centimeters is 1,730 millimeters, which is what we are calculating all of this from. So we divide 1,730 with 7.2. So we get that this is going to be 240 millimeters. 240 millimeters. I'm going to take my scale. Let's check something. So 240 millimeters is what? 240 millimeters. Okay, so the Sierra is gonna be exactly as no, it's gonna be, what is that? It's gonna be, this is 24 millimeters. It's gonna be as wide as the Charger. It's gonna be as wide as this at its widest point. Oh my god. Okay, but this is good. This means that since this is gonna be as wide as this, you see, we're gonna have quite a lot of room between the wheels. And since we're using a McPherson setup, there is gonna be a lot of room for the engine and everything inside, and suspension and stuff. So the cars, when done, they are gonna be same-ish size. So 240 millimeters is gonna be our size from wheel to wheel, and that's, well, that's what we are gonna work with. So let's see what is the possibility here. So the steering links and the suspension arms are gonna be 6 studs long. This leaves as wide as and as wide. The suspension bridge can be as wide as possible, and the distance between the frame rails can be as wide as possible. So let's Let's see if I can have another wheel hub. I don't actually, but I do have this. They're gonna do, because I just want to see what the distance between them in studs is. Okay. I'm just constructing an extremely crude measuring tool. As few modified parts as possible. The main modified parts are gonna be the LP power wheel hubs. The rest I would like to keep as stock as possible. Again, for the same reasons, because we don't modify if we don't need to, and we don't need to except of the wheel hubs. And even, well, the wheel hubs are gonna have to be modified, because a quality suspension like this just needs LP power wheel hubs. There's really no way around it. Since the tolerances here between the strut and the wheel are so small that if the wheel hub would allow movement like this guy does, it would rub. So we do need at least the wheel hubs modified. Okay, so 24. There. Okay, what's the distance now? Of course, that's the point. So 24. Okay. Now there's the dilemma. We could go with this width, or we could go really, we could explore it to the max, just so we can fit this in. But this would make it actually too wide. It needs, I mean, the body is 24 wide, and the wheels should really be like this, so that we can fit 13 stud in between here. So, and the rear can be slightly wider, of course. So let's check again. Yep, that's it. That's our track. That's the track of the Sierra. And this is where we build everything. I think this is gonna look very nice, especially with the McPherson, which we are gonna do right now. So if we have like 6. So 1, then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the suspension bridge is 11 studs wide. 11 studs wide. But since this is a McPherson setup, the 11, we don't have 11 studs between the frame rails, of course. We have much more. It's just that the steering, so that the lower wishbones attach at 11 studs apart to the suspension bridge. That's all that is. The actual frame rails are gonna be further apart, because the frame rails, of course, are gonna be, you know, somewhere here. And this is gonna be, we're gonna design this so that it intrudes as little as possible into the engine bay. So we're gonna try to see if we can do this a little bit differently. Maybe not with the turntables. Maybe we can do this just with connectors, so that we have a pivot here at the top. You know, it has to pivot a little bit. So I could calculate with studs at this point, but it would make no sense. If I calculate the studs that are, for example, this would probably be, ideally, with the studs, I would go with 1 stud more. You know, this would be perfect 24 centimeters. But it's an even stud width, which is a problem. In the front, we cannot do even. In the rear, because of the swing arms, which are gonna be at an angle and all of that, this will allow us to make it wider. But in the front, we need to go with an odd number of studs. So I'm going from studs just to fit the geometry in. And of course, keep in mind that the fenders, we are probably going to use this variant just to give us, you know, just to give us a proper fender line. I'm not sure exactly how we are going to dress it up. The wheels are going to be, you know, are going to be slightly inwards, because this fender line is going to be the 24 centimeters, you know. Yeah, so that's the rough version of it. So without further ado, let's see what we can do with the struts. I'll keep this as a measurement tool. And we need the blueprints, because I will show you in the next episode how to actually, after we have the rough dimensions, how we can then extrapolate everything into studs. Because of course, at one point, when you have the wheelbase and all of that, then we are gonna calculate from the blueprints into studs directly. Okay, so no 4-wheel drive, we can ditch that. It's not gonna be an Audi, so we can ditch that as well. And we want the strut to be 1 stud closer to the wheel, or to the hub, basically. So we can ditch that, and anyway, because that's not needed. So we don't need this, and this is going to be different because it's gonna attach here. Yep, this is gonna attach here. So lower, and this is a 4. Okay. We don't use this. Okay, so of course, naturally I modified this, but I'm gonna use the unmodified end, just because when you are gonna use those springs, or if, I don't know, if you want to, I want you to be able to use the unmodified ones. Well, so we have to make the unmodified spring fit into this somehow. Okay, so let's see. Should not be impossible. What is our... Oh, nice. Yes, okay. So first things first. Now that we have this here, use this. So first, simplification. Okay. No need for this at the moment, because we can use this directly. Okay, like that. Let's see what this means for our wheels. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, yes. So here on the top, here we do need come on. We do need this inside. So this leans against it, and when we put the wheel on, you can see that the wheel basically, just barely, but it does completely, it clears the spring, so it does not make contact. We do not have contact here. See, there is like a 1.5 millimeter room between the gray part here and the tire. So it's not in no danger of making contact, but the shock absorber, come on, focus. Focus. What the fuck? Come on, camera. Really. Focus. Yeah, that's better. DRT, hey. Well, I'm building a Ford Sierra, as was voted by the people who voted. To be honest, I'm pretty happy that we voted for the Sierra. So, what we need to do now is we need to make sure that this is not happening. So, how do we do that? That's the $1,000,000 question. Let's see. First, I'm gonna try the simple version. If this does not succeed, then we're gonna try more complicated versions. Oh, come on. Sorry, I have to use my body as counter. Okay. Not bad for the first attempt. Where are the snags? So ideally, this would be, I mean, the difference is like a millimeter. Very, very small. Yeah, I can see what the problem is. You see, there's a camera focus. What's wrong with you? Oh man. Okay, you can see that I have placed the thing just in the wrong part. So just where the indentation is. So if we rotate this a little bit, we should be good. So if we just put this where the notch isn't, this should fit. Oh. Yeah, the camera definitely hates me today. What have I done to you, camera? Man. Let's try it this way. There we go. Yeah, it's still. This is now in the right place, but we still get this movement, so we don't want this at all. This is not absolutely not desirable. This needs to be stiffer. Well, the new car is gonna have the LP power wheel hubs. That's the really the only custom part that I envision. Uh, Otherwise, we are gonna try to build it as stock as possible. So with no modified parts, if we can possibly do it. Small connector. Which small connector? The problem is that there's not much room here. I mean, this is already if I put a connector on, yeah, it's gonna be tight, but yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We actually gonna put this on the axle. Forcing it a little bit, but that's something I do on a regular basis with bricks, so it's not gonna be digital Lego digital designer or LED friendly. Let's put it like this. Okay, but still, even if I do this, I still get movement. Okay. Okay, that's not something we want, because I see what's happening. You see, already we can see oh, camera, fuck you, come on. What the fuck is wrong with the camera? There's no fingerprints on it. Why are you not focusing? Okay, so if I don't know if you can see it, but there's already notches here. You see, that are that and here as well, from these guys being like pressed into each other. So we need to find a better solution for this. But I don't have a camera with manual zoom, so deal with it. Sorry. Okay, so this is a bummer. Obviously, there's no room for an axle. There's no room for an axle. What if... Is there room for something like this on each side? No, obviously not. We could try with this, if this is a viable solution. But I see it's not really, or is it? Maybe. Let's see how tight this is. Oh, it's so tight that I actually cannot make it fit here. Okay, that's a bummer. Which connector are we talking about? 41678. Which one is this? 41678. Yeah, that's the one I used, yeah. But it's like it doesn't fit. I'm unaware that there are new versions of it, because all the ones I have are exactly the same. Exactly like this one. No, I didn't rig it myself. I mean, the Sierra all-wheel drive would be a pretty pain in the ass to build, to be honest, because the all-wheel drive setup is pretty difficult. The Audi Quattro setup would be, well, not easy, but manageable because all of the steering gear is above the gearbox on the firewall. But in the Sierra, um, you know, a groove on the inner part. I mean, I have light bluish grays and they are exactly the same as the black one. These. And these are the same. So I don't know. It would be ideal if this would fit, but it doesn't. This just doesn't fit. Doesn't fit. It's the same. I mean, if we get rid of this, bah, if we get rid of this, life is probably gonna be easier. Let's see. Just for fun, let's try the side that I have already modified. Let's see if it's the ridge that's the problem. No. What if I turn this around? What if I turn this around? Well, in this case, if I turn this around, and this gives us, well, it gives us interesting possibilities. But I kind of think that the angle of this is a little bit much. Let's Google. Let's Google Ford Sierra front suspension. If we can dare have the struts at that angle or not. Let's see if I can get a nice picture of the struts from the front. Because the front suspension is a McPherson strut suspension, and in the McPherson strut suspension you have to have the shock fixed. Otherwise, it's not a McPherson strut suspension. Otherwise, you need another lift, another A-arm up on top to stabilize it. I cannot find any pictures of the Sierra front suspension that show it from the front. which is very strange. Very strange. Or from, if I find it from below. Or just a picture of the struts from a front view, so I could judge the angle of them. I mean, what the fuck? The Sierra is really a very well documented car, and I cannot find really anything. I mean, nothing useful. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna assume at this point that this angle is a little bit too much. It's a little bit too much. We need slightly less angle, which also means that yeah, this is not gonna be like that. We need the angle to be the other way around. So it has to be like this. No, so it's not as extreme. So the kingpin angle is still very favorable. It goes through here, of course, since this is our ball joint. This part, of course, is fixating here. Hey, Tap. Thanks. But we need to fix this. I mean, anybody who gets the strut, I guess, if you're willing to, this tooth here is easy to remove. But still, it does not help help us anything here in this situation. So if we remove it, we still cannot, or can we? Okay. Oh. Okay. Forget that I said anything. Okay. I have not said anything. Sometimes I just talk rubbish. That's how I am. So we just found out the way we're gonna fixate this shock. Very simple. There we go. It is absolutely rock solid. This is perfect. Rock solid mounting. It's a little bit forced, of course. So this guy here goes in really hard, and you have to remove the notch. This notch has to go. we are probably gonna ditch it here on top as well, because it's gonna interfere with the mounting point here. So let's do the mounting point on top. For this, we are going to just make the lower wishbone, the length that we are actually gonna use in the end, because we want this to be, of course, movable, so testable once we have done it. Of course, we are gonna have quite a bit of caster angle, of course, because this is a Sierra, and you know, let's see if we can find some numbers. What kind of caster does the Sierra have? So for Sierra Cosworth caster angle. Okay. Caster angle for the Sierra. Let's see, a ballpark figure. Okay. Camber is not what's interesting to me. Caster. I mean, what the fuck is wrong in the forums? Jesus. Guys asking about caster angle and people are suggesting camber angles. Oh my god. Typical internet. No. Probably, I mean, all I can sell you are the LP power wheel hubs. The struts you have to modify yourself. Unless you want to pay me stupid amounts of money to modify them. I mean, these are modified, of course, because the original ones, of course, when you compress them and turn them and decompress them, they don't decompress as far as these. They actually stay put. So they are then a stiffer spring. So I made them not adjustable because I removed the adjustment parts in here. And yeah, I mean, we are gonna turn this around anyway, because the heavy part here needs to be here down below. But yeah. Wow, okay, 7 degrees of caster on the Sierra. That's very useful information. Thank you. Thank you, Marco. Okay. 7 degrees. Where is my geometric triangle? Where did I put it? Somewhere here. Because it's just easier to do the measurement with a triangle. Oh man, come on. Where did I put it? It's not in the usual locations. Okay. I don't have a geometric triangle to find out. So let's improvise. And that would make it so much easier. I always kept it somewhere here, but now it disappeared just when I need it most. Typical. It's like a 10mm socket. Do I have something to write? Okay. So let's see. We need to find out what 7 degrees is. Okay. Approximate, of course. We're just approximating. So 45 degrees. We can approximate 45 degrees with number 4 connector, right? Should be here in the pile. Yeah. Who would have thought that in a Lego stream we would draw pretty pictures? Obviously, we're gonna do some calculations. There. So a picture of 7 degrees. You really? So this is 45 degrees. Okay. Okay. How many degrees is the number 3 connector? Number 3 is what? Number 3 is it 35? I don't know. Come on. And all of this because I cannot find my geometric triangle. Hold on. Maybe I have it in the other room. Just a second. How did I put the geometric triangle away? I mean, typical me. And then I will go. I will find it tomorrow in the most obvious place. Yeah. Okay. So let's do what you suggested. Let's find it on the internet. Seven-degree angle. Images for 7 degrees. Okay. This is so cool, but yeah. Jesus. Okay, I cannot see anything through the paper. No, this is not gonna work like this. So we're gonna have to build it with lift arms. So we're gonna have to do it with lift arms. No. Yes. Okay. Let me just make sure that this is correct. Yes. 7 degrees. Okay. So 7 degrees. This is the angle of our camber. Camber caster. So this is the straight. That's the angle. That's the 7-degree angle that we need. Okay. I'm clumsy, so deal with it, you know. What can I say? Okay. Like this, yeah. Okay. So, see, 7 degrees from the vertical. Basically, what we need to do is we have to look that the strut is parallel to our 7-degree what's its placeholder or something, yeah. And where this point is. And we can then always move it up and down this imaginary line. This is no problem. As long as we stay true to this. So let's say okay. Let's make the mount for the for this first. The strut mount. Technically, the technical term. First thing that we're gonna do, I'm gonna get rid of this. Not really. You see, what you have to keep in mind, if we say underside, what you keep in mind is that at the moment, this is the suspension in full drop, you know, and when the car settles on the ground, the suspension also settles. So basically, this is the highest part of the strut, you know, and this is actually pretty in line, you know. This is pretty okay. You have to always keep in mind that when the weight of the car settles on the wheels, the strut is compressing. We want that because, you know, when the car would be like Lego cars, would be on the fully extended strut and driving along, and now a pothole, a hole or whatever in the road comes in, then the whole car drops into the pothole. But if the suspension is like settled in, then just this happens. You know, this is a very crucial part of suspension design. You want the car to actually, when you put the weight on it, you want the car to settle a little bit on this in the suspension. That's very important. So the strut is actually not too long at all. It's very good. And if we did a Lego Porsche, we would position this strut, since the wheel would be bigger as well, we would position this strut one stud further down. So if we did the Lego 911 GT3, this would be positioned one stud further down, and the angle would be probably a little bit bigger. So it would position it pretty much where it should be. This is how the Lego car should have been done, but you know. What do you mean draw force? This is not heavy. The struts of the E30 were heavier. This is actually very compact. I mean, I love it. This is very nice. And the suspension is going to be very responsive. This is very nice. I don't know, because, you know, this is quite soft. This is quite soft. And the car is going to be heavy. I suspect that we are going to have to disassemble it and put additional springs in here. It's probably going to be required. So I think this is even too soft for the car. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be probably a bit lighter than the Charger, but not by much. But I have not weighed the charger. I have no idea how much it weighs. Um, yeah, I mean, the problem with the E30 is that the bottom part here is a lot different. The ball joint, the ball joint in the E30, that's why I complicated this a lot with the E30. The bottom part here is actually one stud further back, uh, and it's quite more complicated than this. This is the simplest form of the McPherson that's possible. Uh, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We can always re-engineer when we go on. I'm not sure. I mean, the Charger has an engine in it. For now, I'll leave it. It looks nice. It has all the functions I wanted, and I'll leave it at that at the moment. It's not the car that I want to make a remote controlled. The absolute ultimate car that I would like to make remote controlled is the Bugatti Chiron. This is the car that I would like to make electric powered and as fast as possible. So basically, the fastest Lego remote control car that we can make. That's the dream for next year. But of course, we need to buy the motors, the batteries, the Lego Bugatti. You know, it's we need to save up to that. You can help, of course, with if you click on the Patreon, become my patron. You can help. Every single euro helps. It goes all into the pot, and then we are gonna use it for to buy more Lego. Uh, the thing with these springs is that the initial compression, you see, when I put the weight on it, it's gonna be half a stud, maybe one stud. The good part is that it's the the McPherson is as direct acting as possible. So the spring, the strut is directly connected to the hub. That's so we get the maximum possible amount of force out of the spring, which is good. And my experience with Lego cars is that you always they are always heavier than you would like. So there's that. Okay, so strut mount, top strut mount. We want it to pivot here. We want it to be removable, so easily removable. We want the spring, so the strut, to be um, removable by unlocking two pins or sliding one axle out or something like that. So we can drop the suspension, because servicing stuff, changing stuff is always beneficial. I can find the instructions for a Chiron, but the problem is I need all of the outside bodywork. I need the wheels. Um, Having all of the parts that it comes with is of course beneficial when we build it, and I would like to have it, in front of me so I can take all of the measurements that I need from it. Um, so yeah. Well, not modify. I don't want to modify it. I want to keep just the outside of it. So the outer panels, the outer design. The inside is gonna be completely different. Not even remotely the same. So modifying it would be a stretch of the word. If you get my drift. This is nice. This is nice. Basically, the only the slack here, no? is basically in the pins that hold the wheel on. So if we build this as a drift car or whatever, what I would do, I would put little screws in here that would stretch the pins a little bit uh, and would prevent this from having slack. Yeah, it's a bit of an understatement. Okay, so final thing for today, let's build the top mount. Here, let's see what our options here are. Yeah, I guess, but I still would need all of the panels for it. You know, I would still need all of the outer panels for it, and buying those panels separately. Um, in the end, I think, and the wheels and stuff. In the end, I think I would not save that much more money, and the car itself is, well, it's a good parts donor, so I can always use Lego parts. So in the end, I don't know. The save, it is worth the 250 euro or 300 euro of parts, because if I bought all of the parts separately, it would be much more. Okay, so what we are learning here is that we basically we need this to be swingable back and forth, because when this turns, of course, this swings a little bit this way and a little bit back and forth. We can, well, if we are evil, we can basically just have an axle here like I did in the E30, and have the axle take up all of the force back and forth. That's one way to do it. Let's build this version and see how much it wants to move back and forth, and if this is acceptable. If it's not acceptable, well, then we need to do kind of a pivot. But if we can get away with not having a pivot here, that would not be a bad thing. So let's set a baseline, for example. I'm just eyeballing stuff here. This is all gonna change once we start building the rails and stuff. So 1, 2, 3, maybe. Yeah, let's try 3. Let's try 3. So let's see if 3 is the right choice. No, obviously not. It's obviously 2.5. Because of course it is. It's always half a stud. I'll explain in just a second what I'm doing. Yeah, so that's correct. Yeah, that's gonna be approximately enough. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the other side of this, and then we are gonna compare. I mean, compare. I just want to see how lucky we are with this. Kind of expect that luck might vary. Up or down, up or down, down, down. Come on. Um, just bear with me for a few seconds more. It's all gonna be clear. There, there. This is just a very, very crude prototype. I just want to see where we are. Okay. So this is the angle that we need. And we don't need a pivot here. The minimal slack that the axle has is enough because there's no binding here at all. This all goes very smooth. So I don't know how much power the pneumatic engine have. No idea. Never measured them. So the camber is correct. I guess. Basically there's zero camber gain as far as I can tell here, which may or may not be good, but yeah, it has a very slight camber. Very slight camber. You cannot see it on camera, but should be perfectly fine. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. Great. What we need to do now, and we're not gonna do this today, but what we need to do now is see how to attach the steering links to the car or to the suspension. That's gonna be interesting. So steering links obviously are gonna be here in front, like this. They are supposed to be, since they're in the front, they should be in here, but I'm Not sure if we can mount them in here, but we are certainly gonna try. I think it should be doable. So ideally, they would be in front of the sure. Ideally, come on. Ideally, they would be in front of this ball joint, so somewhere on this axle, somewhere here. If we wanted Ackerman geometry, so it would be like here. You know, not sure how doable this is with all of that, because this is in the way, of course. I don't know. It's a tight spot. We don't have enough. I mean, enough. We don't have much room here, and this needs to be here in the front somehow. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be tight. I have a few ideas how to make it, but let's see. Has to be really really tightly connected to the wheel, because you know this is gonna give us this this directness that we want. But yeah, you see how little room this actually takes. So the outer part of the strut is going to be this. This is not going to be here. Here is already the empty space of the engine bay. So the suspension, so basically the frame rails of the car, you see, are going to be here where the strut is. But this is already a pretty big steering angle. We can, yeah, go even with less. So we can maybe have the frame rails here already. Let's see what the rear says. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe we can. Yeah, we're gonna have the frame rails exactly here. So this is where the frame rails are gonna be, and they are gonna be pretty much. Where are they gonna be? They are gonna be on. One, two, three, four. Okay. Yeah, so the frame rails are gonna be here. So this much, we have 11 studs of room between the frame rails in the engine bay, which is quite a lot if you ask me. So basically 11 studs between the frame rails, which are pretty much down below in the engine, and 11 studs between the strut towers. But the overall width of the engine bay is going to be, of course, larger, because the frame rails are, you know, they're going to be down there, and then the rest of the engine bay is gonna flare out. So there's plenty of room for anything we want here. And 11 studs, if you ask me, on this scale is pretty much a gigantic room for stuff. Uh, that's the charger has like 7 studs of room, or 9 at most. So this is gonna be plenty. Yeah, I mean, with this room, we basically can fit any of the wild engines that we saw, that we wanted to fit into the Charger engine bay, but couldn't. You see, this engine in the Charger engine bay looks quite big. Here in our engine bay, it's gonna look pretty small, pretty damn small. So the 4-cylinder that we are gonna do is gonna be bombastic. Turbocharger, 16 valves. There's room for everything. And of course, we can remove it and swap in whatever electric motors we want. Because we are gonna do the flange on the gearbox that is gonna have 2 gears, uh, in a way that we can just connect the electric motor to it, disconnect the engine, connect electric motor to it. So it's gonna be made with RC in mind. And the steering here on the front axle is gonna be also very out of the way, not like in the Charger. It's gonna be really, you will hardly notice a steering column going into the passenger compartment. And so on one side we are gonna have a steering column that goes to the steering wheel, and on the other side we're gonna have just an axle going along the floor. Basically, it's gonna remove itself out of the engine bay, just down below, not interfering with anything, and this is going to go directly to the hand of God steering. So steering is gonna be really out of the way, so we don't have to worry about it. I don't think we will have the height, but the E30 used bigger wheels. That you have to keep in mind. The E30 model used bigger wheels. It used the Unimog wheels, so the scale of the car was bigger. Of course, one can make an engine that would fit in here. It's all possible because there's enough. There's going to be enough room. Let's put it like this. There's going to be a lot more room than in the Charger. So that's it for the stream today. I think this is going to be a really interesting car. Our Sierra, really interesting car. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. It's gonna be precise to steer, so we're gonna have a hand of God steering. So I always like to do that because it's so fun when you can drive the car and feel what it's doing. You can't do that with when you drive it with remote control. But of course, since this is a Sierra, I would like to have it remote controlled, really, because I would like to see it drift. Simple as that. If you mean the white one, I've seen the white Sierra. Okay, I've seen a white Sierra that has been done. I was I don't know, not impressed, let's say. It looks like a Ford Sierra, but it's not what we are striving for. But if it's something else, then I'm open to see it. Anyway, that's it for today. I see you on Friday. Yeah, it's the white one. I know it. I see you on Friday. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you're not. Consider donating a little bit or subscribing to my Patreon, because Lego is expensive and we are gonna use a lot of Lego in the future and now. Yeah, and that's it. And thanks for watching, basically. Yeah, I see you on Friday. Have a good week, and let's hope the good guys win.